I'm getting so wet, she whispers, her lips curving into that dangerous smile. Her fingers slide down the glass, slow and teasing. You really should see it. My heart stops. My mind races. What is she asking me to do? Before we continue, please like this video, subscribe and let me know where you are watching from. The rooftop bar hums with soft jazz music. Golden lights hang above us, like tiny stars. Lauren sits across from me, her black dress catching every flicker of light. She holds her drink close, watching me with those eyes. My glass freezes halfway to my mouth. I can't move. I can't think. The way she said those words makes my chest tight. Her voice was so soft, so close, like she was telling me a secret. She tilts her head, still smiling. That smile knows things. It promises things. The condensation on her glass slides down her fingers like little rivers. She doesn't wipe it away. She lets it drip. Should I be concerned? I manage to say. My voice sounds different. Lower, like I'm trying not to give away what I'm thinking. But my heart beats so loud, I'm sure she can hear it. Lauren laughs. It's not a big laugh. It's small and soft and makes me lean forward without meaning to. She shakes her head slowly. Her hair moves like silk in the golden light. Relax, she says. Her tongue touches her bottom lip. Just for a second, just enough to make me forget how to breathe properly. The city lights blur behind her. Nothing else exists except this table, this moment, this woman. I meant the rain, she says. She points behind me with one finger. I turn around like I'm in a dream. The city skyline is getting wet. Little drops of water dance on the glass walls around us. When I turn back, she's watching me. Her eyes sparkle with mischief. You have such a dirty mind, Ethan, she says. But she's not mad. She's pleased. Like this was her plan all along. The rain gets heavier. It makes tiny sounds against the windows. The whole rooftop feels warm and safe while the storm grows outside. But the real storm is sitting right across from me. I lean closer to her, close enough to smell her perfume, close enough to see the little gold flecks in her eyes. The space between us feels electric, charged, like lightning might strike any second. Or maybe I say, my voice barely above a whisper, you just know how to make everything sound dirty. Her smile changes. It gets bigger, more dangerous, more beautiful. She leans back in her chair like she's won some game. I didn't know we were playing. Maybe I do, she says. The rain falls harder outside, but inside the air between us burns hot. This is how it started. This moment, this woman, this dangerous, beautiful smile that would change everything. 2 hours earlier, Lauren walks through the rooftop party like she owns the night. Her black silk dress moves with each step. The fabric catches light and shadow. Men turn to look. Women notice too, but she doesn't see any of them. She's late for a client meeting. The dress has thin straps that slip down her shoulders. There's a slit up one side that shows her leg when she moves. This isn't her usual work outfit, but her day ran long. She didn't have time to change. Now she's here, looking like trouble. Ethan stands near the bar with a glass of whiskey. His tie hangs loose around his neck. His sleeves are rolled up to his elbows. His hair is slightly messy from the evening breeze. He's here for his friend's engagement party, but he looks bored. The party buzzes around them. People laugh and clink glasses. Music plays from hidden speakers. Fairy lights make everything glow warm, but neither Lauren nor Ethan pays attention to any of it. They're about to collide in the most beautiful way possible. Lauren turns too fast. Her drink flies forward. Cold liquid splashes across Ethan's white shirt. Ice cubes bounce off his chest and hit the ground. The sound cuts through the party noise. Time stops for a heartbeat. Then everything happens at once. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Lauren gasps. Her free hand reaches for his shirt without thinking. Her fingers touch the wet fabric, touch his chest underneath. The contact sends electricity through both of them. She pulls back like she's been burned. Ethan looks down at his soaked shirt, then up at her face. She's beautiful, but more than that, she's flustered. Real, not like the other women at these parties who never make mistakes, never show emotions, never spill drinks on strangers. I swear I'm usually coordinated, she says. Her cheeks turn pink. She grabs napkins from the bar. Her hands shake slightly. as she tries to help clean his shirt, but touching him again feels too dangerous, too intimate for strangers. Ethan watches her panic. He finds it charming. "No harm done," he says. His voice is calm, steady, like getting soaked by beautiful women happens to him every day. "Though if this was your plan to get my attention..." Lauren stops moving. She looks up at him, really looks. His eyes are kind but playful. There's something else there too, something that makes her stomach flutter. She tilts her head, letting her hair fall to one side. "Would it have worked?" she asks. The question hangs between them. Ethan doesn't answer right away. He studies her face. Her lips, the way she bites her bottom lip while waiting for his response. The pause stretches longer than it should, longer than normal, long enough to change everything. Without question, he finally says. The party continues around them, but they don't notice. They're in their own bubble now, their own world where spilled drinks lead to something magical, where strangers become something more, with just a few words, where attraction builds like storm clouds. They find a small table away from the crowd, 2 chairs, 1 flickering candle, and the beginning of something neither expected. Ethan orders them fresh drinks. Lauren sits across from him, smoothing her dress. Her fingers play with the rim of her new glass. "So what is it you do when you're not making strangers spill drinks?" Ethan asks. He leans back in his chair, relaxed but interested. His eyes never leave her face. He watches every expression, every small smile, every tiny reaction. Lauren smirks. That same dangerous smile from before. "Interior designer," she says. Her voice has music in it, light and teasing. "You?" She takes a sip of her drink. Her lips leave a small mark on the glass. Ethan notices everything. "Architect," he says. Her eyebrow lifts. Just one. It's such a small movement, but it changes her whole face, makes her look curious, impressed, maybe a little challenged. "So you build things," she says. "I make them beautiful." "That's one way to look at it." Ethan replies, "What's your way?" The question comes out softer than she meant, more personal, like she really wants to know what he thinks, how his mind works. What makes him different from other men? Ethan leans forward. The space between them gets smaller, more intimate. "I'd say you create spaces people fall in love with," he says. "I make sure they don't fall apart." His words are simple, but they hit her differently. Deeper. Lauren laughs. It's genuine this time, not flirty or calculated, just real. "Smooth, Mr. Architect," she says. Very smooth, but her eyes show she's pleased, impressed despite herself. This man knows how to talk to women without trying too hard. "Only when I'm inspired," Ethan says. The words float between them like smoke, heavy with meaning. Lauren's fingers stop toying with her glass. She looks at him with new eyes. This isn't just party talk anymore. This isn't casual flirting. Something real is happening here. The engagement party becomes background noise. Other people become shadows. The whole world shrinks down to this table, these 2 people, this moment that feels like destiny. Neither of them planned this. Neither wanted complications tonight. But sometimes the best things happen when you're not looking for them. When you spill drinks on strangers. When you wear the wrong dress to the right place. When you ask questions that demand honest answers. Hit that like button if you've ever felt instant chemistry with someone. The rain starts falling harder now. It hits the glass walls around the rooftop bar. Each drop makes a soft sound. The noise creates a bubble around their table, like the whole world has become smaller, more private, just for them. Lauren turns in her chair to watch the water race down the glass. Her finger traces one raindrop as it slides toward the bottom. She follows its path like she's drawing. Her reflection blurs with the city lights beyond. Everything looks soft and dreamlike. "Do you ever wonder," she says quietly, still watching the rain, "how 2 people can meet out of nowhere and just click?" Her voice is different now, softer, more real, like she's letting him see something true about herself. Ethan studies her profile, the way her neck curves, how her hair falls forward when she leans closer to the window. The golden light makes her skin glow. She looks like art, like something he wants to protect and capture at the same time. "Every time it happens," he says. His words are honest, simple, no games or clever lines, just truth. Lauren turns back to face him. Her eyes are softer now. The playful energy from before melts into something deeper, more dangerous. She looks at him like she's trying to solve a puzzle, like she's seeing something in his face that surprises her. "You think this is one of those times?" she asks. The question comes out barely above a whisper, like she's afraid of the answer. "I'm starting to," Ethan says. He doesn't look away from her eyes. Doesn't try to hide what he's feeling. The air between them feels thick, charged with electricity, like lightning might strike right here at their table. Lauren smiles. It's different from her earlier smiles. This one is gentle, real, careful, she whispers, leaning slightly forward. "I might make you prove it." Her words hang in the space between them, heavy with promise, with possibility. The rain gets louder against the windows. It wraps around them like a blanket. Other people at the party feel far away. Their laughter sounds distant, unimportant. Nothing matters except this moment. This woman, this feeling growing between them. Then everything changes. Lauren's phone buzzes on the table. The screen lights up. She glances at it, and her whole face shifts. The soft expression disappears. Her shoulders tense. The magic breaks like glass hitting the floor. She stares at the phone for 3 long seconds. Her jaw tightens. Something cold crosses her face. Fear maybe, or anger, or both mixed together. Ethan watches the change happen, watches her slip away from him without moving. "I should go," she says suddenly. She stands up too fast. Her chair scrapes against the floor. The sound cuts through the gentle rain noise. Other people turn to look, but Lauren doesn't notice. She's already somewhere else in her mind. "Did I say something wrong?" Ethan asks. He stands too, confused by the sudden shift. 1 second they were connecting. The next she's running. He doesn't understand what changed. What broke the spell they were both under? No. Lauren looks at him with sad eyes. That's the problem. She picks up her purse with shaking hands. "You make it too easy to forget where I'm supposed to be." Her voice cracks slightly on the last word. Ethan takes a step closer, then forget it for a little longer. His voice is soft but urgent, like he's trying to hold on to something slipping away, like he knows this moment won't come again if she leaves now. Lauren stops moving. For a heartbeat she looks torn. Her eyes flick between him and the door, between staying and going, between safe and dangerous. Her hands grip her purse tighter. She bites her bottom lip. The hesitation stretches longer than it should. "You don't understand," she finally says. "He's complicated." The word comes out heavy, loaded with history, with pain, with problems Ethan can't fix or fight. Problems that existed long before tonight, long before spilled drinks and rooftop bars. "Boyfriend?" Ethan asks. The question tastes bitter in his mouth. He already knows he won't like the answer. Already knows this story doesn't have a simple ending. Already knows someone else has a claim on her heart. "Ex, kind of." Lauren laughs, but it doesn't reach her eyes. It's hollow, tired. One of those people who doesn't like being an ex. The admission hangs between them, heavy, with implications, with unspoken threats, with complications that make simple things impossible. "Sounds like he should have appreciated you while he had the chance," Ethan says. His voice is calm, but his hands clench into fists. He doesn't like imagining someone hurting her, someone making her afraid, someone making her run from good things. Lauren gives him a look that says, "Don't tempt me. You really shouldn't say things like that." But her voice is softer now. Like part of her wants to be tempted, wants to believe him, wants to stay despite the risk. "Why not?" Ethan steps closer, close enough to see the gold flecks in her eyes, close enough to smell her perfume mixing with the rain-washed air, close enough to touch her if he wanted to, if she let him. "Because I might believe you," Lauren whispers. The words slip out before she can stop them, before she can hide behind walls and safety, before she can remember all the reasons why believing him is dangerous. She looks at him one more time, really looks, like she's trying to memorize his face, like she knows this might be the last time she sees him. Then she turns and walks toward the door. Her heels click against the wet floor. The rain falls harder as she reaches the exit. She pauses with her hand on the glass door. Her reflection shows in the surface. She looks back at him one last time. Her face shows everything she can't say, everything she wants but can't have. Then she pushes through the door and disappears into the storm. Rain cascades around her like a curtain. The city swallows her up. Ethan stands alone at their table, watching her fade into the night. The candle flickers in the breeze from the open door. 5 days pass, maybe 6. Ethan tells himself to move on, tells himself she made her choice, tells himself some stories don't have happy endings. But forgetting her feels impossible. She's in his dreams, in quiet moments. In every raindrop that hits his office window, work becomes his escape. New client meetings, new buildings to design, new problems that don't involve beautiful women with complicated paths. He walks into a half-finished loft downtown. Just another job, just another day, just another way to not think about her. But there she is, standing in the middle of the empty space like a gift he didn't ask for. Lauren looks up from her paint roller. Surprise flickers across her face. Then something else. Something that looks like happiness, like relief, like maybe she's been thinking about him too. She wears old jeans now, instead of silk dresses. Her hair is pulled up in a messy bun. Paint stains cover her clothes. Her cheek has a smudge of white. She looks real, beautiful, like herself without any masks or pretenses. "You again," she says, setting down her roller. A smile tugs at her lips. Not the dangerous smile from the bar. Something warmer, more genuine. What are the odds? The silence stretches between them, heavy with everything unsaid. Everything that happened, everything that might happen now. Apparently very high, Ethan finally says. His voice sounds rusty, like he hasn't used it properly in days. Like seeing her again has stolen his ability to form normal words, normal thoughts, normal reactions. They stare at each other across the paint-covered floor. The air fills with electricity again, with possibility, with the same magic that got interrupted by phones and complicated exes and rain-soaked departures. It's still there, still strong, still impossible to ignore. Lauren breaks the silence with a grin. "Don't just stand there, architect." She picks up a clean brush from the paint tray, holds it out toward him like an invitation, like a second chance, like maybe some stories do get happy endings after all. Grab a brush, comment below if you think she should have stayed that first night. Ethan takes the brush from her hand. Their fingers touch for just a second. That same electricity shoots between them. That same fire that started at the rooftop bar. Lauren steps back, but she's smiling. Really smiling. Like she's happy he's here. Like she hoped he would be. They work side by side for the next 3 hours. The empty loft fills with laughter and paint splatters. Lauren shows him how to roll the walls evenly. He makes jokes about her technique. She splashes paint on his arm. He gets her back by painting a dot on her nose. The afternoon sun streams through the big windows. It makes everything warm and golden. Lauren moves around the space like she belongs there. She talks about colors and textures, about making spaces feel alive. Ethan watches her more than he paints. Watches how her face lights up when she talks about her work. "You're not painting," Lauren says, catching him staring. "You're watching." But she doesn't sound annoyed. She sounds pleased, like she likes being watched by him, like his attention makes her feel beautiful, special, wanted. "Maybe I like the view better," Ethan says. The words come out before he can stop them, before he can think about being careful, about keeping distance, about protecting himself from getting hurt again. Lauren stops moving. Her brush freezes halfway to the wall. She turns to look at him. Really look. Her eyes search his face for something. For truth, maybe. For proof that he means what he's saying. For signs that this isn't just a game to him. That she's not just another pretty woman he wants to charm. "You're dangerous," she says quietly. But she steps closer, instead of moving away. Closer to the danger. Closer to him. The space between them gets smaller, more charged, more impossible to ignore. Paint fumes mix with her perfume. Sunlight catches in her hair. They keep working, but everything changes. Every brushstroke feels deliberate. Every laugh sounds different. Every glance carries weight. The air gets thicker, heavier, full of things they're not saying, things they're both thinking, things that hang between them like smoke. Lauren reaches up to paint near the ceiling. Her shirt lifts slightly, shows a strip of skin at her waist. Ethan tries not to look, tries to focus on his own wall. but his eyes keep drifting back to her, to the curve of her back, the way she moves. How graceful she is, even doing messy work. There, Lauren says, stepping back to admire her work. Perfect. But when she turns around, she notices Ethan's shirt. White paint covers his chest. More paint than should be there. She frowns slightly, studies the mess she apparently made. "You missed a spot," she says. Her voice gets quieter, more focused. She moves closer to him, close enough that he can feel her breath, close enough to count her eyelashes, close enough to lose himself in her eyes. Her finger reaches toward his collarbone. The touch is soft, gentle, but it burns through him like fire. Her fingertip traces the edge of the paint stain, follows the line of his collar, stays there longer than necessary, longer than painting requires, long enough to make his heart stop beating normally. "You sure you're not just making excuses to touch me?" Ethan asks. His voice comes out rough, lower than usual, like the words scrape against his throat on their way out, like breathing has become difficult, like thinking has become impossible. Lauren doesn't move her hand away. Her finger still rests against his skin, still burns like a brand. "Maybe," she whispers. Her eyes meet his. Hold them. Don't look away even though the moment stretches too long, even though they both know they're crossing lines. Time stops moving. The world goes quiet. Paint fumes disappear. Sunlight fades. Nothing exists except her finger on his skin, his eyes locked on hers. The space between them that's too small and too big at the same time. The air that's too thick to breathe properly. "What if I am?" Lauren adds. The question hangs between them, like a confession, like a dare, like an invitation to something that will change everything. Her finger moves slightly, just a fraction, but it sends shockwaves through his whole body. Ethan doesn't answer right away, can't answer. His brain has stopped working properly. All he can think about is her touch, her eyes, the way she's looking at him, like he's the only person in the world, like nothing else matters, like she wants him as much as he wants her. "You always look like you're trying so hard not to fall for someone," Lauren says. Her voice is barely above a whisper, but in the quiet loft it sounds loud, important, like she's saying something that matters, something true, something he needs to hear. The words hit him harder than they should, because she's right, because he has been trying not to fall, trying to protect himself, trying to be smart instead of following his heart, trying to avoid exactly this moment. This feeling, this woman who makes him forget every reason why he should be careful. "How's that working for you?" she asks. Her finger still hasn't moved from his collarbone, still burns against his skin, still makes it hard to think straight, to remember why falling for her might be dangerous, why keeping distance might be smart. Ethan looks into her eyes, sees everything she's not saying, everything she wants, everything she's afraid of, everything that matches what he's feeling. "Not great," he admits. The words come out like a confession, like giving up, like surrender. Lauren smiles. It's soft and real and beautiful, like she's been waiting for him to stop fighting, stop pretending, stop trying to protect himself from something that might be worth the risk, something that might be worth getting hurt for. The sun starts setting outside the big windows. The light changes from gold to orange to pink. The city below them begins to twinkle. Street lights come on one by one. The loft feels warm and private, like their own secret world where nothing else matters. They move to the small balcony without talking. The evening air feels cool after hours inside. A light mist starts falling. Not real rain yet, but the promise of rain. The threat of getting wet again. Lauren wraps her arms around herself and shivers. "You know," she says, looking out at the city, "I really am getting wet again." The words echo from that first night, from the rooftop bar, from when this all started. But her voice is different now, softer, less teasing, more vulnerable. Ethan turns to look at her, sees the mist gathering in her hair, on her skin, making her glow in the evening light. "Still talking about the rain?" he asks. But his voice is gentler now too, less guarded, more open, more honest about what he wants. She bites her lip, looks at him with those eyes that see everything. "Maybe," she says, but the word comes out like a question, like she's not sure anymore, like the line between rain and feelings has gotten blurry. Like maybe she doesn't want there to be a line at all. Ethan takes off his paint-stained jacket, drapes it over her shoulders without being asked. The gesture is simple, but it feels huge, important, like taking care of her, like claiming her, like promising something without using words. Lauren looks up at him with surprise, with gratitude, with something deeper. "You didn't have to," she says, but she pulls the jacket closer, breathes in his scent, lets herself be surrounded by him even though he's still standing 2 feet away, even though they're still pretending distance matters, still pretending they can fight this. "I know," Ethan says simply. He doesn't explain why he did it, doesn't make it complicated, just lets the gesture speak for itself. Lets her understand that he wants to take care of her, that he wants to be the one she turns to when she's cold, when she's scared, when she needs someone. They stand there in the growing darkness. The mist gets heavier. The city hums below them. When Lauren finally speaks, her voice trembles slightly. "You make it very hard to keep my distance," she admits. The confession costs her something, makes her vulnerable, makes her real. "Then stop trying," Ethan says. The words come out firm. Sure, like he's done pretending too, done fighting what they both want, done letting fear make his choices for him. The pause before he spoke stretches between them like a bridge, like an invitation to cross over. Lauren looks at him for a long moment, studies his face in the dim light, sees the truth there, sees that he means it, that he's not playing games or making empty promises, that he wants her to stop running, stop hiding, stop pretending they're just friends. She hesitates for just a heartbeat, just long enough to make the moment feel huge, important, life-changing. Then she closes the distance between them. Her hand finds his chest, right over his heart. She can feel it beating fast, hard for her. Her breath is warm against his neck when she speaks. "Your trouble," she murmurs. But she doesn't move away, doesn't take a hand off his chest, doesn't step back into safety. Instead, she stays close, stays dangerous, stays exactly where both of them want her to be. "So are you," Ethan whispers back. His hands find her waist, pull her closer, close enough that there's no space left between them, close enough that they're breathing the same air, close enough that nothing else in the world matters, except this moment, this touch, this woman in his arms. Lauren's lips brush against his cheek. The touch is soft like a whisper, like a promise, like something precious that might break if handled too roughly. Her breath is warm on his skin. It makes him close his eyes and just feel, just exist in this perfect moment. The kiss is gentle, but it changes everything. It's not passionate or demanding. It's tender, sweet, like she's telling him something without words, like she's choosing him, like she's decided to stop running and start trusting. Start believing in good things again. "Maybe we deserve each other," Lauren murmurs against his skin. Her voice is so quiet he almost misses it, but the words hit him like lightning, like truth, like everything he's been hoping to hear since that first night at the rooftop bar. Ethan's hand finds her face. His fingers trace her jawline, so soft, so perfect. He tilts her chin up until she's looking at him. Her eyes are different now, open, vulnerable, full of feelings she's not trying to hide anymore, full of trust she's giving him like a gift. The mist around them turns into real raindrops. They fall on her hair, on her shoulders, on the jacket she's wearing. His jacket, the one that smells like him and makes her feel safe, protected, like she belongs to someone who cares about her. "You know," Lauren says, her voice getting softer with each word, "I'm getting so wet, but this time is different. This time the words don't tease or challenge. They're sweet, gentle, like she's sharing a secret, like she's giving him something special that belongs only to them." The callback to their first meeting makes them both smile. But these smiles are different too, not playful or dangerous, just happy, content, like two people who found something they didn't know they were looking for, something that makes the world make sense. Ethan looks down at her with eyes full of warmth. "Should I be concerned?" he asks. The same question from before, but his voice is tender now, loving, like he's playing along with their private joke, their special language that nobody else understands. Lauren's smile gets bigger, brighter, Only if you're planning to stay dry, she whispers back. The rain falls harder around them, but neither moves, neither runs for shelter. Neither cares about getting soaked. They're too busy looking at each other, too busy being happy. The rain soaks through their clothes, through their hair. It runs down their faces and drips off their chins. But they stand still like statues. Like nothing else in the world matters except this moment. This connection, this feeling of finally being where they belong. Water drips from the balcony railing, from the fire escape above them, from every surface the storm can reach. The city below looks blurry through the rain, like a painting that's been smudged, like the whole world has become soft and dreamlike. Lauren shivers but doesn't step away. The rain is cold, but Ethan's arms are warm. His jacket helps, but mostly it's him, his presence, his warmth. The way he holds her like she's something precious, something worth protecting, something worth getting wet for. We should go inside, Ethan says. But he doesn't move either, doesn't let go of her, doesn't step back towards safety and dryness. His words say one thing, but his actions say another, say that he never wants this moment to end. Probably, Lauren agrees, but she snuggles closer to him instead. Closer to his warmth, closer to his heartbeat, closer to the feeling of being chosen, of being wanted, of being loved by someone who sees all of her and stays anyway. The storm gets stronger. Rain falls harder. Thunder rumbles somewhere far away, but they might as well be in their own bubble, their own world where storms are romantic instead of scary, where getting wet together means something beautiful, something worth remembering forever. This is how love really starts. Not with grand gestures or perfect timing, not with easy answers or simple solutions. It starts with two people choosing each other, despite the complications, despite the rain, despite all the reasons why it might not work out. It starts with spilled drinks and misunderstood words, with teasing that turns into tenderness, with barriers that wash away like makeup in the rain, with strangers who become something more because they're brave enough to try, brave enough to get wet together. Lauren thinks back to that first night, how scared she was, how she ran because staying felt too dangerous, too risky, too much like hoping for things that might not happen. She almost missed this, almost missed him, almost let fear win instead of love. But here they are, soaked and shivering, and completely happy, proving that sometimes the best things come to people who take chances, who trust their hearts instead of their heads, who believe that getting wet together is better than staying dry alone. Ethan remembers watching her leave that first night, how empty the rooftop felt after she was gone, how the rain seemed sad instead of romantic, how he thought he'd lost something special before it even had a chance to grow. He almost gave up, almost decided she was right to run, but fate had other plans, paint-covered plans, second chances that looked like interior design projects, moments that proved some people are worth waiting for, worth fighting for, worth standing in the rain for until they're ready to stop running. The rain washes away her makeup, his cologne, the last pretenses between them. What's left is real, true two people who found each other against all odds, who chose each other despite the complications, who decided that love is worth getting wet for. Lauren's ex will call again. There will be drama, difficult conversations, choices to make about the future. But none of that matters right now. Right now there's only this moment, this man, this feeling of coming home to someone who makes ordinary words sound like poetry. Ethan's friends will ask questions, want explanations, wonder if he's being smart or just lucky, but he knows the answer already. Sometimes smart looks like taking chances on beautiful women who spill drinks on strangers, who make everything sound like promises, who are worth every risk. They finally go inside when the lightning gets close, when staying outside becomes truly dangerous instead of just romantic. But they take their time, move slowly, hold hands like teenagers, like people who have all the time in the world now. The loft is warm and dry. Paint cans sit where they left them. Brushes wait to be cleaned. Work waits to be finished. But none of that feels important anymore. All that matters is that they're here together, safe, happy, exactly where they belong. Lauren looks around the space they painted together, sees their afternoon written on the walls, sees the beginning of their story in every brushstroke, in every laugh they shared, in every moment that led to this, to them, to love that started with getting wet. So what happens now? She asks. But she's not worried about the answer, not scared of the future anymore. She's just curious, ready for whatever comes next, ready to face it with him, ready to stay wet if that's what love requires. Ethan pulls her closer, kisses the top of her wet head, breathes in the scent of rain and paint and possibility. Now we see what happens when two people stop trying to stay dry, he says. His voice is full of promise, full of hope, full of love that's just getting started. Like this video, subscribe and let me know, have you ever had someone make ordinary words sound absolutely irresistible?